Okay, we are rolling.
Oh, we are rolling again.
Gather round and listen while this story won't be so rosy. Away, haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. At the burial, I stood bent over, beating my chest and wailing. It was the kind of a full breath sobbing I didn't know I was capable of. I knew why, though, and the why was almost as painful as the loss, because there before me, being laid to rest, was this person who I loved and who loved me about as much as you could love someone.
Y'all were still a good family of love with Daddy and Mama.
It took a lot for Mom to do
So how
that.
did she bathe y'all?
A wash pan. She'd fill it up with water off the back porch
Every
in the
night?
kitchen.
Was it?
Heck yeah, we got a bath every night.
y'all?
After
We were
playing out
filthy,
there.
too.
Yeah, I was going to say, after playing out there in the fields.
We were filthy. Daddy milked the cows back then. That she pasteurized the milk. We had fresh milk. I remember him playing with Buddy. Buddy claimed to come even then and stay with us in the log cabin in the summers. And him and Daddy were milking the cows, and Daddy squirting the milk at Buddy.
Shine up,
So how old were y'all when you moved out of the log cabin?
That was in '59 when Grandpa Garrison died.
So I was 5 and you were 6.
And I remember, I don't know how, I always had it in my mind that Daddy, he didn't come and get us, and we were at the log cabin by ourselves. But he must have went back to the log cabin with us to get something, because we were in the back seat, and I was steady saying to Daddy, leaning over his shoulder, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be there. Don't take me there. We don't want to live there.
Y'all didn't want to go back
I
to the big
didn't.
house.
I was scared of Grandpa for one thing, and I didn't like that big old house.
So when you were born, Mom, y'all lived in the big house.
Yes.
How old were y'all when you moved to the log cabin?
I was a baby.
Yeah. I was probably 2.
Oh, so y'all
I was probably 2 years old when we.
So y'all lived there 3 or 4 years.
We lived there from the time Daddy's mama died until his
Right.
daddy died.
Because
We
Uncle
moved out,
Enoch originally
built that out. We moved to the log cabin when Daddy's mama died.
Yeah, Mama didn't stay with the old man very long because he started mistreating us.
Yeah, she said he would call y'all some
Little white
guns
sons
and all that, yeah. She said I about put a frying pan upside his head.
Today she moved out because
Yeah.
he didn't want to take.
Yeah.
He didn't want her to take her stuff.
Yeah, she said I wasn't gonna take it no more. So thank you God, Mama did make
She
a
had
stand.
some grit.
She had some.
Growing up, she told me stories about her pa and Gramps, about where they come from, that they were Cherokee, and how as a little girl she was told not to talk about it. It was just a thing that was, and was not to be discussed. But for her, I wanted to know more, so I decided my mom and I should figure it out. Together, we hit the open road.
I mean, would she have not told y'all about being like that for your safety, or would she have not told you about that?
I think, and Aunt Mildred and Aunt T could tell us so much about this. I think from their grandfather, this is just my hypothesis, my idea. I think from their family, there was such an awareness and understanding. You have to hide the fact that you're Cherokee Indians so that you're not discriminated against. That whole philosophy of the Cherokees who did not go on the Trail of Tears was to assimilate into society. And I think that was ingrained in her family. So, that's a possibility to investigate. Because I remember Mom and Aunt Mildred and Mama telling me that they would talk so much about, for instance, what happened to Aunt T for a period of 5 years. So that her family was really accustomed to keeping some things from the public eye. It was a part of their philosophy.
The Cherokee were, especially in the time period where a lot of them were being buried, a lot of them had learned about Christianity, by the 1600s. And so they were doing a lot of practicing that for a better word, white people.
Yeah, they assimilated well.
Exactly.
What was the most recent time period that they were Cherokee here? Like, was it up until?
Well, the 1830s.
Right, when they were all
well,
moved
even
out.
1870s, to be honest with you, because there was a Cherokee troop of Civil War that fought for the Confederacy out of the Cherokee, what is now the Cherokee Indian Reservation. And they fought along the old trade route across the mountain here. And this was in the 1863, 1864. Because there was a reunion of these Cherokee veterans in 1912. There was a photograph of them in Washington, D.C.
So there was a significant number of Cherokee that did not go on the Trail of Tears, apparently. I mean, a lot. More than I thought.
There's quite a few that... I said I hate to use certain types of terminology, but they were Anglicized, pretty much. That they came to the white man's way of thinking, and so those who gave into that actually were
the ones that stayed.
Yeah.
So the Great Smoky Mountain National Park for Cherokee Indians. I mean, that's the thing. I was talking earlier about asking you to say Native American, but they still use Indian on everything. Yeah,
They could use Cherokee Indian, do they not?
right, but that's, who is calling them that? And what would they prefer to be called? When you were in school, did you ever have to make a brochure for something? In French, we were all given a country and we had to make a brochure. And I got Switzerland. Super proud of my brochure.
How helpful the information was. Are we sure it is the Heritage Center?
Yeah, that's what he said. The Heritage Center in Townsend. All right.
You ready?
When I was a little last mini story, my granny wove me away, Holloway, Will Holloway Joe.
Anything you learned today that surprised you about the Cherokee people?
How well structured their communities were, their cultures. Even I've always been impressed, but even more impressed today. And to learn that they were matriarchal society from the mother. How they adapted to their environment to the point that they had winter houses and summer houses. And how far back, how you could see from the way they built their houses, how they progressed from archaic time to the woodland era, to the Mississippian era, and to the Cherokee, which is Mississippi and Cherokee overlap. But you can see the progress. But they even in their most primitive state, they're impressive people.
Okay, why go to the Smokies? Why go in search of clues about a specific story of our heritage? If I were to guess, it would probably be because she told me so many of those stories growing up. And I so desperately wanted to be reunited with some part of her through them. Will Holloway Joe.
If there's anything that you could say about Granny, what would it be that you would say, Aunt Teresa?
I'm not going to plead the fifth, but I'm going to let somebody else go right this minute.
Mama, you want to go first?
I would say that in spite of Mama's struggles and everything that she endured, Mama came out like pure gold because Mama truly loved us. And she loved God, and she came out with pure gold at the end. That's what I'd say.
I would say loving. What did she always say? I wish I could remember how she said it. Very loving. Forgiving.
I would probably say she taught me to accept things as they were and to face them head on and to be forgiven, because without forgiving, God wouldn't forgive me. And she had a lot of stories that she said if she didn't forgive others for, she wouldn't be going to heaven. So acceptance, integrity, transparency, and stand up for what you believe in. She said it all the time, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And she stood on the Lord. Truly stood on the Lord. She'd have never made it through the situations she went through without God.
She used to say, I love y'all with all my heart. That's what's on her gravestone.
I love you.
There's more to this story, to who we are and were, to that question I'm so determined to answer. Are we Cherokee? And if not, then what? But that's for another time. This has been about grief, the kind that never weakens and is always with you, because that grief, like that person, is immense, and the thought of them fills you with love, and in their absence is your memory of their love for you and you for them. Will haul away, Joe.